they scream so loud. The big sky stretching past the clouds. Frozen rivers break their chains. Saskatchewan's got the bigger dreams. Canada's grip, it holds too tight, but the South it calls in the dead of night. Fields of wheat, they yearn for more. A better deal just past that door. Canada's grip, it holds too tight, but the South it calls in the dead of night. Fields of wheat, they yearn for more. A better deal just past that door. Oh, Saskatchewan, break the line. Cross the border, leave behind. Stars and stripes, they'll set you free. Your destiny. Oh, Saskatchewan, break the line. Cross the border, leave behind. Stars and stripes, they'll set you free. The USA, your destiny. Oh. Taxes high, they weigh us down. Promises lost in Ottawa's town. We've been forgotten, left to fade. Time to rewrite the deal we made. Mountains far we've never seen. We're just the land where the cold is mean. A freedom south where the sun does shine. It's time to take what should be mine. Oh, Saskatchewan, break the line. Cross the border, leave behind. Stars and stripes, they'll set you free. The USA, your destiny. Oh, Saskatchewan, break the line. Cross the border, leave behind. Stars and stripes, they'll set you free. The USA, your destiny.
Chains can't hold, bear and ice wrapped in the mold. Shatter the maps, whole lines erased. Greenland invited to the embrace. Welcome, welcome, Greenland folk. Stars and stripes, your story told. Unite the land, seas far and wide. We'll walk together side by side. Mountains rise, frozen veins feed. Shifting tides, sowing the seed. North sky fire burns so high. Joining hands under shared sky. Welcome, welcome, Greenland folk. Stars and stripes, your story told. Unite the land, seas far and wide. We'll walk together side by side. Can freeze. Strength in spirit, lands and seas. Borders fade like melting snow. Together stronger, onwards go. Welcome, welcome, Greenland fold. Stars and stripes, your story told. Unite the land, seas far and wide. We'll walk together side by side. King, no crown, ice can freeze. Strength in spirit, lands and seas. Borders fade like melting snow. Together stronger, onwards go. Welcome, welcome, Greenland folk. Stars and stripes, your story told. Unite the land, seas far and wide. We'll walk together side by side. Together
morning. Welcome to the NPC show. Deprogramming the world one NPC at a time. I'm your host, Frank. Today is... Was it Friday? Friday! February 27th, 2025. Good morning, everyone. How you doing? Not too long of a show today. Pretty short show, pretty short watch party. It's a Friday anyway, so kind of works out nicely there. Kind of works out nicely. Hello, everyone. Good morning, Carrie. Sherry, good to see you. Donnie Newman, Charlene Weddle, Daisy, June, hello to Arnold, Joshua, Andrew, Yorka, hello to you, Mo P, Malcolm, Teresa, Angie Pink, and Debbie. By the way, today is Missy Stevens' birthday. Yeah. Missy, hey Marie, good to see you, dear. Thank you for being here. Hope you feel better. Aww. Anyways, Missy Stevens' birthday. Say happy birthday to Missy Stevens. Look at that. Happy birthday to Missy Stevens. Yay, Marie's here. Yeah, she's sick in bed. Marie's sick in bed. I'm so sorry, dear. Hope you feel better. Wow. Anyways, hello to Teresa. Good morning, Teresa. Carrie, KP Dad, good to see you. Debbie, Bipolar, Donnie, hello to you. Charlene, Mo P, Vanner, Sherry, Queens. Okay, everyone's saying happy birthday to Missy Stevens. I keep mixing Missy Stevens with Debbie Lance. Debbie Lance is that big hugs lady. She pops in every day and says big hugs, hugs everyone tight. That's Debbie Lance. But hello, Missy Stevens. Happy birthday. I don't think she's here. I don't think she's here yet. But hello, James Thomas. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Let's see who's on this side. We got Dixie, Mary, Daisy, Jillian. Good to see you. Campbell. Good to see all of you over on that side. Hello to everyone on Foxhole. Let's see, we've got... Oh, no one's there yet. Bizarre. Okay, it's working. Good. Okay, we are live over on Getter now. Yeah, we're streaming everywhere. Everywhere that allows me to stream for free. You know, I'm providing them content to give me a place to scream. And here we go. Hello, James. Good to see you. Hello, Robbies. Thank y'all for being here. Let's see. On this side, okay, cool. Yeah, so pretty short show today. That's an interesting story. I want to add that somewhere because that is an interesting little story. Tennessee is doing good with their elections. They just yanked a judge off the ballot because he's not real Republican. Yeah, they yanked him out of the primaries ballot. They're like, nah, we're not buying this. Let's see. What are we doing this? The White House, that's not really news, but okay. We'll add it to the election portion. There we go. Yeah, news rolls in constantly. I'm like adding stories as we speak all day. We don't really care about that. Anyways, hope you feel better though, Marie. Thank you for being here, Marie. You still have the original avatar from when I first met you. That's awesome. Wow. Yeah, she's come a long way. She's lost so much weight since yeah. She's like well, I don't want to say your weight, but you know, it's a really low number now. Anyways, thank you all for being here. Let me check one more time, one more scroll. See if there's any other news. I hope you feel better, dear. I never get sick, but I got sick from December all the way to the beginning of February because I took a shot of whiskey for my birthday on December 12th and everything just went to crap after that. I got so sick. And yeah, I'm telling you guys, I'm legitimately allergic to alcohol. It's not like I turned red, I'm Asian. Not that. No. I literally, it wrecks my immune system, then I get sick. Other than that, I almost never get sick. Yeah. Other than Rona, I get that pretty often. Yeah. Oh, look at that. That's good. That's good to see. Philly police files lawsuits because they were denied promotions for being white. Yeah, we definitely need to add that here. We'll add that right around here because that's important to cover. What else is there? Oversight committee. Anyways, here we go, guys. Let's get going. I need a second song after the intro song, but at a lower level. I gotta figure that out because It's too quiet right now. We're still saying hi. It's not news yet, you know? So, anywho. First story of the day, the Bohemian Grove list just got released. Look at that. It is released by the New York Post. But by the way, they're not all entirely bad dudes. I mean, we've got Conan O'Brien on here. He's okay. Clarence Thomas is on here. He's okay. Richard Nixon was, we've seen pictures of him there. He's okay. And then there's a couple of dipshits like Eric Schmidt. I don't know. He's not really a dipshit, is he? He was like he was one of the co-founders of Google, but he was in the era when they were decent. You know, before Sundar Pichai moved up there, right? You know, and then there's Paul Pelosi. He's bad. So it's a mishmash of both sides. Charles Koch, whatever his name is. I think he's one of the Koch brothers. He's awful. So it's a mishmash of both sides. But again, why is this all of a sudden coming out? We're not investigating this. Oh, you threw this list out to rot, to burn. You gave them, you basically trying to get people to stop paying attention to the Epstein files is what you're doing, right? Is that why Clint Eastwood's on this? I don't know if he's I think he's anti-Trump. So, anyways. So yeah, here he's like, oh guys, pay attention to this list, not the other one. Not the one where kids were actually being hurt. Pay attention to the one where they're burning effigies of children, not actual children, like Epstein was doing, right? They were about doing that, by the way. So this seems like a distraction to me. I have not heard anything about this group. We know these secret societies have something to them, okay? Skull and Bones are dog shit, you know? We've got George W. Bush. He was Skull and Bones, but then again, so is DeSantis. He's not the best either, though. So it's like, you know, I don't know. So, but again, why wasn't this released, you know, before the Epstein files was out? You know, why didn't they do? Why didn't the media do a 2 month long, good Lord, what is going on? Why didn't the media do a month-long investigation into let me see real quick. Good Lord, what is going on? Yeah, good. Yeah, why do you have to ask me every time that pops up? Are you sure? Yeah, I'm sure. Anyways, so yeah, a lot of distractions from the real news, right? The Epi files. Even I'll tell you this, even the Clinton depositions today and yesterday that are by the way behind closed doors are distractions, because they're not going to give us anything we want. They're not going to name names. They're not going to be like, oh yeah, we totally ate Babas, you know? So, but again, you know, they have to agree to be deposed now because we have too much real information coming out. They're not going to give us anything. They're going to give us the exact same stories that Maxwell gave us. Nothing exciting, nothing real. Next story. Kristi Noem did an interview with PBD, Patrick Bet-David, and she described that the deep state DHS staffer. Yeah, guys, this is how difficult it's been to clean this out. This is going to take a whole decade to clean out, by the way. Someone in the DHS. So imagine this. You're the head of the DHS, okay? Your IT department who's responsible for programming your phone, securing it, and making sure that everything is a honky-dory, installs malware into your phone instead. Kind of like how Jesse Torres of Toyota in IT installed malware on my computer when I was a temp there. Remember that? Remember that Jesse Torres? Yeah. Yeah, you know Jesse Torres from Toyota. Toyota corporate, by the way. Yeah, don't trust that guy. Don't hire that guy. He's absolute dog shit. But yeah, this is what they do, guys. This is what La Raza does, okay? Anything to save their people. They're like, oh, let's install malware on Kristi Noem's phone. Not just hers, but others as well. So, by the way, you know who helped them find it? Elon Musk. Elon Musk, a guy who no longer has control over Twitter, which is why I got banned, by the way. Yeah, if you're wondering why I'm back on Getter, Grace trying to help get me back on Getter because I got banned from Twitter. So I gotta obviously dial down my opinions about the people who run Getter. You know who that is? Yeah. Because Twitter won't let me be on there, right? So here we go. We're just gonna move on. Here we go.
I can't believe what I found since I've been in this department. I just found the other day a whole room on this campus that was a secret SCIF, secure facility, that had files nobody knew existed. So we just happened to have an employee walk by a door and wonder what it was and started asking questions. We went in there. There was individuals working there that had secret files that nobody knew about on some of these most controversial topics like that. And now I've got that turned over to attorneys, and we're getting to the bottom of what exactly happened there. You know, we have CBP, which is Customs and Border Protection. They know every traveler that comes into this country, every good that comes in. They're the ones who assess and collect all of the tariffs. But the information that they had on travelers that came in during COVID, what our national labs, which I also have national labs under my jurisdiction, they're scientists that participated with that Wuhan lab, how they were traveling back and forth between each other and working on those experiments. It's been eye-opening. And I'll tell you, Patrick, even from the time I came into this office, it was, Elon and his team were extremely helpful to me. They helped me identify that some of my own employees in my department had downloaded software on my phone and my laptop to spy on me.
Stop it.
To record our meetings.
Wow.
They had done that to several of the politicals.
Wow.
And so we ended up bringing in people, and that was something that if you didn't have those technology experts here in the department looking at all of our laptops and our phones and recognizing that kind of software, it would still be happening today. So one of the things I need to do and continue to do is partner with technology companies and experts to bring them in and help us. Because many times in government, and especially in this department, which was extremely neglected, we were just behind and not up to the standard we should be at. I remember the first 4 months, I couldn't even send a PowerPoint over email from the Department of Homeland Security servers that was longer than 6 pages long. So the backwards thinking of protecting our country was extremely detrimental to keeping us safe. And many times the deep state, I think what I tell people most of the time is I always believed when people talked about the deep state before that it existed. I never would have dreamed that it was as bad as it is. It is. I'm still every day trying to dig out people who don't love America, that not just work at this department, but also work throughout the federal government. I
thought she was lie detecting everyone, I mean, unfortunately, it's possible to cheat it, by the way. By the way, Patrick Bet David's audience, not very conspiracy theory people, okay? A majority of his audience also believes that Epstein's still alive. Which, by the way, brings us to today's poll. It's why do you think Trump is being so nice to Mamdani? Well, we'll go with that later. It's there. But we're going to talk about Mamdani in just a bit. But yeah, his audience also doesn't believe Epstein's dead. Yeah, like 56%, just like mine. Yeah, exactly the same number. Every time I do a poll, it comes out similar to his. I'm like, wow. Maybe we're both psychopaths, huh? Next story. A trans suspect charged with attempted murder after shooting at Border Patrol. Guys, this trans suspect, I believe, is from Canada. Okay, this is at the Canadian border. Canada's trans community is trying to kill our government employees. 26-year-old Blue Ziki Daly, who was born Cullen Ziki Daly, identifies as trans or non-binary, arrested in New Hampshire after allegedly opening fire on U.S. Border Patrol agents during a routine traffic stop at the Canadian border. Oh, and I'm sorry, this is a Manchester, New Hampshire resident. Got it. So we just got another trans person, another crazy violent trans person. I'm telling you, they need to have some sort of case about this, just like England did. And we need to have our Supreme Court justice rule on the condition of these people, because the Supreme Court of London ruled that transgender people are mentally disabled. Okay, they're just not all there, and that's why they're confused about their gender. Which is not hard. You look down at your crotch, you know what you are. Usually that's how it goes. But no, these chicks with dicks are just like, I'm gonna kill everyone, and it's perfectly okay. So interesting. So this is a New Hampshire resident, not a Canadian. Jeez.
We were first to break this story late on Sunday night, and it's been tough to get information. It's really been piecemeal. But now we know that this suspect is from Manchester. A 26-year-old from Manchester is in the hospital tonight after allegedly exchanging fire with Border Patrol in Pittsburgh early Sunday morning. According to an affidavit filed this afternoon, Blue Zeke Daly, who is also known as Cullen Zeke Daly, fired shots at an agent who then returned fire and shot Daly. The FBI says that Daly had been stopped in Stewartstown by the agent who asked whether Daly used other names. Daly then immediately drove away. Investigators say that officer followed Daly, and when Daly approached the U.S.-Canada border, Daly tried to drive off and started shooting. The officer then returned fire, according to the affidavit, before Daly lost control and ended up in a snowbank. Officers found a handgun and ammunition and is facing several charges, including attempted murder of a federal officer. The FBI is now leading
That's a big one.
this investigation alongside the U.S. Attorney in New Hampshire. Now, both of these charges carry up to 20 years in prison, respectively.
Oh, man.
And fines
40 years total, huh?
of up to $250,000. In Manchester, Ariel Metropolis, WMUR, News 9.
Next story. Maryland sheriffs are now publicly calling out Democrats who are preventing them from cooperating with ICE.
This is nothing more than politics.
Thank you for the one-sided audio, WBAL TV. This is Baltimore NBC, by the way. Look at the little watermark on the corner. Baltimore NBC with the one-sided audio.
This is nothing more than politics over public safety. And we as elected sheriffs are fed up with it. You don't see this many sheriffs in one location in the state at any given time. But we have to come together in unison.
Oh, this is all their sheriffs. All these dudes are their sheriffs from all over the country, the state.
To stop the ridiculousness that's going on up here in Annapolis, Maryland. And lawmakers need to wake up and realize Marylanders and the American people want public safety over politics, and they're not getting it. This is not.
Wow. I thank you for speaking out. Next story. Philadelphia police officers filed a class action lawsuit after being denied promotions for being white. Yeah, I'm telling you, this is something that needs to really be dealt with, because even though they've banned DEI, they're still engaging in racist hiring policies everywhere, not just in the government, but also in the private sector. Awful, awful. My story. You remember the guy who threw the large chunks of ice at cops in New York City during the snowball fight? And I'm throwing up air quotes because he was not throwing snow. He's throwing snow with water poured on it that froze into an ice block. Yeah, they let him go. Yeah, they dropped charges and let him go. Yeah. He was previously arrested recently, like 3 weeks ago, for armed robbery. But they're just going to let him go. This is New York for you. Don't worry, guys. He's only going to slash liberals, okay? I don't think there are any more conservatives in New York. Whoever he slashes is just going to help us in the elections, yeah? Unless they continue allowing dead people to vote, which they are. Because SAVE Act is not going through. Thank you, Senator Thune, for hosting a dog show instead. Next story. Yesterday, there was a Columbia University. I'm sorry, I don't think it was yesterday. I think it was the night before that, like 2 nights ago. There was a student at University of Columbia who was detained. This is she. I'm gonna assume she's Islamic, just based on how she looks. I'm sure we had a name. Do we have a name? You guys never have names, you know that? Anyways, so she got arrested. Mamdani went to the White House to meet with Trump. He told Trump to let her go, and he did. And then he posed together with this newspaper that says "Trump to City, let's build." That's printed by the Daily News, and I think this was obviously, I think this is probably today's paper, but it was printed yesterday, and they held it up together. He's already told Trump to let her go, and he did. And he's also asking for $21 billion for funding for New York City houses. My question is, in capitalism, usually when it's worth it to build a house, you build it and it makes money if there's demand, right? So why are we using taxpayer funding to build this? So, and again, why is it only New York City is getting this special treatment? Why aren't you trying to help rent in, like, I don't know, in rural America? How about small town America? How many of you live in like a medium-sized city and the rent is still too high because we have 20 million illegals camping out in these houses, living off of SNAP cards and all the money that they stole over the last 4 years? How is that? It's awful. I don't understand why he's getting this special treatment, which, by the way, brings us to our poll. Our poll today is, why do you think Trump is being so nice to Mamdani? 23% of you say he's trying to be diplomatic. 34% of you say he's trying to be productive. I guess those are two of the same answers. So half of you think it's just about doing good things. 30% of you, like I believe that Mamdani is Jeffrey Epstein's son. Because we know about his eugenics lab in Zorro Ranch in New Mexico. We know about... remember the email we talked about, an Epstein email between Epstein and some other dude talking about, oh, you've been talking to the crown princess of Norway, huh? Is she looking to have a little baby Epstein? Remember that little conversation? And the fact that conversation happens just goes to show you that that's not uncommon speak. That is something you might talk about with him, probably because it's a normal thing. It happens all the time. So yeah, I mean, they have the same smirk, you know? He just happens to look more like his mom. The skin tone, the height, everything. Obviously, the accent, he's not going to have that Jewish accent, right? I'm pretty convinced that this is Epstein's son, and possibly the Crown Princess of Norway's son as well. You know, the little Norway's Hunter Biden, who has 4 charges of rape against him, which he'll probably get away with. Yeah. So, yeah, his mother's all over the Epstein files. They have pictures together and everything, you know? Yeah, him and Epstein are no different. They're a lot like Justin Trudeau and Fidel Castro, you know? They both had mothers who were seen with these communist leaders, Epstein and Fidel Castro. And the men that, for whatever reason, in the photos seems to be taking an interest in the child. We've seen pictures of him with Maxwell, and his mom's not even there. Yeah. So, I'll tell you this. That theory, that the 30% of you who believe that theory, it also explains why Trump was able to treat Zelensky like crap in the Oval Office, but not him. Yeah, he's actually very nice to him. Remember, we streamed it. We were excited about it. And then when we watched it, it was like, nothing's happening. Like, okay, well, whatever's then. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm pretty convinced this is Epstein's son. If even Trump's just like, oh, yeah, 21 billion, here we go. Oh, you want her to be let out of prison? Go ahead, here we go. No problem. No problem. Yeah. Well, that sucks, huh? You know, I'll tell you this. At least he's not doing all the socialist stuff he said he was going to do. You know, free public transit, which would have destroyed the public transit because homeless people will be camping out in there all day. And then also the rent. I think he is going to be doing rent control, but he hasn't done rental assistance, which again defies capitalism, right? Defies free market. And if he does rent control, you're going to see a lot of fires. A lot of fires. It happened in the 70s. They did rent control. Landlords couldn't be profitable, and they couldn't sell it because how are you going to? You have to sell it at a loss. You know, people who would buy it from you would have to have a mortgage lower than the amount of rent that they can collect, and if that's regulated, then they can't make money, so no one buys it. So what happens? The price plummets. So what do they do instead of selling? Or instead of short selling, what do? They buy they buy really, really good homeowners insurance, and they torch it. Like, I believe like a third of Brooklyn was burnt down because of that. Yeah, it's a true story. I had no idea that happened. I'm like, oh wow, I heard about it on PBD show. I'm like, wow, that's interesting. Anyways, next story. Oh yeah, Zohran Mamdani has been paying people $35 an hour to shovel snow to any person who presents an ID. Meanwhile, does not require ID to vote. Anyways, this is them shoveling. 5 people all together in one spot shoveling for some reason. No idea why. We got 5 people here. We got another 3 right here. And across the way, we got another, what is that, 7? We got 7 here. We got 2 here. So just one block alone, we've got over a dozen people. Okay. You don't need that many people all in one spot. Okay. But again, there's no management for this. There's never any management for government expenditures. Okay. This guy is wasting your money. This guy is wasting your money, and I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't give this opportunity to like Republicans or conservatives or whites. Because again, New York is racist, right? They have their DEI programs all over the place. What an awful way. And by the way, this isn't all day it was like this. Look at this. Here's daytime. Look at this. Yeah. That's like a dozen people all shoveling one block, just chatting away, just chatting it up. Yeah. Well, hey, you shovel snow this way, you shovel snow this way, and it'll never get done. And that's how you keep the payroll going for these guys. Again, no governance. Freaking awful. Next story. Oh, in Minneapolis, Target paid $110 million for an early termination fee of its lease. Look at that. Target is leaving Minneapolis. Yeah. Why? Because the Canadian protesters who are protesting in Minneapolis keep occupying the store and destroying things so that they can't do business.
Hi, Brian. My name is Pastor Martha Bardwell, and I'm here with a bunch of clergy in the lobby of corporate headquarters. We are waiting here to speak with you.
Is this the right Brian Cornell?
You're out of town. Here, I'm putting you on speakerphone so we can all hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I am out of town right now and heading into a meeting, but I know our local group is going to be happy to talk to you. So thanks.
Okay, can we get you on Zoom? Can we get you on Zoom after that meeting?
Sorry, I better run.
We're in total crisis over here in Minnesota. We really need to talk with you.
Yeah. So they were trying to make demands out of Target. Okay? Target, which by the way, has in the past been pretty accommodating to the left. Remember all the woke clothing, all the trans clothing that they had? They tuck friendly bathing suits for men who want to look like women while they swim. Yeah, they've been accommodating, and now they're completely exiting Minneapolis. Target has paid $110 million to exit their lease in Minneapolis following months-long sustained protests by leftists across Minnesota, in which they occupied stores and office spaces in an attempt to force their demands on the company. So now all of you have to go shop at Trump supporting Walmart now. Wow, that is hilarious. That is hilarious. Yeah, you guys are real dumb. You guys are real dumb. Holy crap, man. Anyways, hey, at least this is a great opportunity for mom and pop shops to open up, although you get looted regularly, so I don't know why you would want to do that. Also, business insurances are not paying out anymore. Yeah. They're like, oh yeah, we're still working on your claim. You know, we'll let you know about your claim. We'll call you. We'll call you, okay? Don't call us. We'll call you when your claim is thoroughly completed. There are businesses who've been robbed, looted like 4 times. They only got paid like the first time, and then that's it. They don't get paid anymore. After that, the insurance blames it on you and says, yeah, it's your fault for not securing your building. You're supposed to spend tens of thousands of dollars on those riot-proof glass, you know, that Chanel has for their straps, you know. Yeah, they're only like $10,000 a piece, and you as a business couldn't afford that. Well, it sounds like you don't care about security. It sounds like you're letting this happen. Are you letting your friends steal the stuff to sell on eBay so that you can file a claim for the insurance? It sure seems like it, because even when it happened, you still let it happen again and again and again and again and again. You're a negligent business owner. We are not going to be granting your claim. You can file a lawsuit against us if you like, if you can afford a lawyer. Huh? Hey, small businesses, you're going down. Thanks to all the Marxist crime policies, huh? Next story. Nearly 2,500 students are punished in deep red Lee County, Florida after their anti-ICE walkouts. Look at that. Good stuff. You see, those are the Republican kids cheering who stayed in class and learned, you know? Yeah, so they're identifying all the students that walked out. I don't know how they did that. You know, the principal might have said, take roll at the end of the day, and if they're not back, they're all in trouble. Yeah. So 2,037 got warnings. That's the least punishing ones. The 11 recommendations for reassignment to Success Academy. That's what some of us know of as continuation school. Yeah. You too can go to continuation school like me if you get caught dealing dope at school. Yeah, that's my history, guys. I was a bad kid. I had very angry, negligent, toxic family, parents. Yeah. Anyways, 134 out-of-school suspensions, 40 in-school suspensions, 43 student conferences, 7 parent meetings, 208 level 2 interventions. By the way, all of this goes on their transcripts, their permanent record, which means when they apply for colleges, their college will see all this. So and by the way, you may think that this is going to prevent them from getting into a good college. You forget that Ivy League college are all run by Marxists now, and they love people like this. All these people who have this on their transcript will probably be prioritized for Harvard, Columbia, Penn U, all those colleges. Okay, yeah. Unfortunately, those colleges don't really teach you anything other than activism anymore. So, yeah. Anywho. Yeah, so 2,000 students are being punished. These warnings, I wonder if these warnings go in their transcripts. I don't know. We shall see. Next story. Accused killer of astrophysicist arrested for trespassing on scientist property with a loaded rifle 2 months prior. So now I'm really interested to know who the heck this guy is. Because they not only tried to kill him once, they try to kill him twice, which is highly targeted. This is not like, oh, he has a lot of gold at his house and we want to steal it. It wasn't anything like that. Because you probably could have stole it without killing him. You probably could have just held him hostage, tied him up, took all the gold. Okay? I don't know who he is, but it seems almost as if like this astrophysicist here, which just based on his looks is probably a really smart dude, right? You know, he might know something. You know, imagine they took him out because he's about to come forward about flat earth. They're like, oh crap, he's gonna tell the world, put him down. And then all of us would be like, oh shit, so it is, they were right about it all along. We're idiots. Imagine that. Imagine if that was the reason. Anyways, the person who was caught the first time on his property with a loaded rifle was released by a Gavin Newsom appointed judge. This guy right here. Yeah, Judge Osman Abbasi. He is a Sand Mexican. Sand Mexican. Yeah. You know how they feel about whiteys. You know how they feel about people who cover up the shape of the planet, the true shape of the planet, what's that dome that what does he call it? What do they call it? I forgot what they call it. The Faradome? I don't know. Anyways. I don't know, but I'm interested to know why they took him out, because clearly there's something bigger than this. I mean, he had that's his property right there, by the way. It's in the middle of nowhere. The firmament. Thank you very much. The firmament. Yeah, I don't know. But there he is. What is this? The Newsom appointed judge gave suspect in Caltech geniuses slaying a slap on the wrist weeks before he got slaughtered. What is this picture here? Who's he with? Who's this guy? Anyways. So I don't know. Would be nice to know, more information about this, but the Phenodome. What the heck's wrong with me? The firmament. The Phenodome. The Megadome. Next story. This is a wind turbine. It is being imploded intentionally. Yeah, something about incompatible parts or something about it. It was just not acceptable or whatever. By the way, 100 of these are going to be going down in this state here. I think this is Texas. Is that awful or what? Let me read this real quick. It says here, these effing turbines are about 6 years old. Only 6 years old. Definitely didn't pay itself off yet. mismatched specs between the generators and blades or some shit. Anyways, they were failing. So after numerous lawsuits and bullshit, the fix is to implode all 100 of them and rebuild, saving the world. Yeah. And by the way, Mr. Lee Zeldin, you know, when someone wants to start drilling for oil, they're required to put up a bunch of money with the government called bonding, okay? That way, if there's a disaster, like a giant oil spill, there will be money laying around to clean it all up. I hate to tell you this in case you didn't know, but solar panels and wind farms do not require to be bonded, okay? We need to start bonding them because they're creating a mess. These companies go under, and what do? They don't even clean up the turbines. They just leave them there. You know? What about the blades that they discarded? They just buried them in the ground. Oh, that's going to be great for drinking water. Yeah, groundwater filled with fiberglass. That's a great idea. What about all the lead and cadmium leaking from all the solar panels destroyed by hailstorms? Oh, that's going to be there for 100 years. Are they forced to clean that up? No, they're not. Yeah, and they say oil is toxic, huh? It sounds like green energy. It really is green, right? It's like radioactive, green, toxic, disgusting colored. You guys notice that? They're pushing the whole gold green for a while, and then over time they started making the eco-friendly stuff blue, right? Because they realized green is the same color as like toxic waste and radioactive material like tritium. Yeah, this is so awful. Next story. Trump has some good news about the ballroom. So anyways, they wanted to build a ballroom. They got private funding for it. $0 in taxpayer funding is going to be used for it. The Democrats sued anyways to stop it. Okay. Oh, and by the way, if President Newsom gets elected by stealing the 2020 election, he will demolish it. I guarantee you. Okay. Why? Because it is a symbol of success. And they don't like that. Anywho, some good news though. They tried to sue to stop it, and the judges threw that out. So they're going forward with the ballroom. She says, "Great news." Trump says, "Great news for America and our wonderful White House. The judge on the case of what will be the most beautiful ballroom anywhere in the world has just thrown out and completely erased the effort to stop its construction. As everyone knows, not $1 of taxpayer money is being spent, but rather all money necessary to build this magnificent building is being put up by patriot donors and contributors. The ballroom construction, which is anticipated to also handle future inaugurations and large state visits, is ahead of schedule and under budget. It will stand long into the future as a symbol to the greatness of America if you secure the elections." Yeah, not enough action in that. I know it's not your fault, but thank you very much, Joshua, for the donation. Thank you. By the way, thank you very much, Marie. Marie, love of my life, Marie, for the generous donation earlier. Thank you very much, dear. Thank you, Marie. Anywho, so it's going forward. Oh, by the way, whoever contributed, are they being sponsored? We should do that, right? If they're sponsors, then what we should do is we should actually call it the, I don't know, who donated money? The Dell Computers Ballroom, you know? Like Staples Centers or Crypto.com Arena, right? Next story. The Tennessee GOP removed a judge from their primary ballot. His name is Joe Brown. They said it's because he is not a bona fide Republican. Judge Joe Brown. Oh, this guy. Okay, he's a TV judge? I didn't even know this. So he's a TV judge trying to run as a Republican, and they removed him. That is hilarious. I didn't even know this is a TV judge. That is great. Former television personality and longtime Memphis jurist judge Joe Brown has officially been removed from the Republican Party ballot in the 2026 Shelby County mayoral race. Boy, I am phlegmy today. According to Shelby County GOP Vice Chairman Luke Simbal, the state party made the decision Thursday to strike him from the certified list of Republican candidates eligible to compete. By the way, why isn't every state doing this? What is wrong with you guys? Kentucky, Nebraska, North Dakota needs to be doing a lot of that, by the way. You have the worst Republicans in the fucking country. Holy shit. That's hilarious. I didn't know he was running. Next story. Some updates out of Michigan from Patty McMurray, the greatest journalist in Michigan. She says, we have completed 40% of our investigation into Detroit's 2020 absentee ballot envelopes, and we're now beginning to understand why they covered the windows. Let me get to this. In September, Gateway Pundit, to shoot a Miller request. Miller was able to secure copies of the actual absentee ballots, the signed envelopes that contained the absentee ballots, absentee ballot applications, QVF files, blah, blah, blah. We quickly assembled some of Michigan's top election integrity experts to review the documents. Together with Yehuda, who is the founder of Check My Vote. I don't know. Anyways, who's not all these people anyways? We have completed 40% of our investigations into 155,000 absentee ballot envelopes from 2020. It's fair to say that after several weeks of uncovering issues and concerns flagged by volunteers, it's becoming clearer every day why election workers and outside agitators covered the windows at the TCF Center after locking out the majority of the Republican poll challengers. On the other side of the covered windows, absentee ballots were being processed on the day after the 2020 election, with little to no oversight by Republican poll challengers, and in many cases, absolutely no oversight by anyone other than the almost exclusively Democrat Party election workers and supervisors. Remember this scene here? Yeah, they cover them windows so you can't film them cheating. As a costly project, here are a few of the absentee ballot. Good Lord. Hold on. Give me a second. Anyways, here we go. Flammy day. I had salad for breakfast too. Anyways, here are some of the few absentee ballots our incredible team volunteers have already flagged as having issues. Let's start with this voter who is registered to vote and voted from a non-existent address in Detroit. We have confirmed that this address is a fake address. This voter successfully registered to vote from this address and received an absentee ballot in the 2020 election. My question is, how did they get this ballot? Okay, I keep telling you guys, the USPS is in on the steal, okay? If you had a piece of mail and the address doesn't exist, where do they send it? That's where you have to investigate the USPS. Okay? You want to know how Wisconsin flipped three representative seats red, 4 I think. They flipped 3 or 4 red in 2022, and they did so because a group of anonymous people got the voter roll, went to every single address to verify if that address existed, and they did not, and got them removed. And that's how Wisconsin earned 4 seats in 2022 and helped us retake the House so we can do some real investigation and some real hearings. Okay? And also stop all the money that Biden was giving to Ukraine. Anyways, the clerk's only section of the envelope reveals that this voter from a fraudulent address was given the ballot 8574. Curiously, this voter has now been wiped clean from the Michigan voter rolls because, like I said, they mass register tons of people just before the cutoff, the deadline, the month prior. They vote, and then they do voter roll cleanup, and then they erase all those people. And by the way, in some districts, that's why when you register to vote, your voter ID number is not sequential. And the reason why is because, if you're a very, very specific person registering who's going to help cheat, okay, they put you, like if you're a known Democrat, okay, if you pick, I'm in a Democrat party, they make your registration number start with like a 5. Right. Meanwhile, the Republicans start at 1, or the Republicans ones is sequential from the real voters. Right. So that after they're done cheating, they remove this block right here. Everyone whose number starts with a 5, something like that. OK, that's how they're cheating the voter roll system. So voter ID would help. Yeah. But fake voters could just have fake voter IDs. So a group of Democrats who could be 500 people could be registered 5 times each. All they would need is 2,500 different IDs. Voter IDs, fake voter IDs, and they would qualify to vote. Would they not? So that still would not help. So we need the e-verify system to tie to this. Which, by the way, they cheat that anyways. All you have to do is know someone's social and someone's name. Bam, you type it in. Oh yeah, I'm a real person, U.S. citizen here, eligible for work, and then you fill out your W-2 and you're in. That's it. No one is checking to see if this social security number is working multiple jobs, because if they are, that's a problem. Especially if they're in different states, right? How are you doing that? You're working at 2 7-Elevens in different states every day. Next story. Here's some good news. USA oil output is now more than than Russia and Saudi Arabia combined. Ooh. You know what I remember from my textbooks in school? I was taught that oil came from dinosaurs and that there happened to be more dinosaurs in a barren wasteland made of ancient seashells called the Middle East. All right. As an adult, we're all finding out now that oil is actually decaying plant matter that seeps into the ground and collects. That's why if you're drilling for oil and you pump out all the oil and you cap that well, if you wait a couple of years and open it back up, it's full of oil again. Oh, what happened? Some underground dinosaurs are having babas and the babas turn into oil? Is that what happened? Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, we're outpacing both Saudi Arabia and Russia combined. Look at that. That's good stuff. Oh, look at natural gas. We beat Russia, Iran, and China combined. Wow. Now you know why the globalists are trying to get us dependent on solar panels and wind farms. Because China has no oil or natural gas. Or very little, I should say. Mac 426 dinosaurs are fake too. I've heard about that theory as well. In fact, if you want to open up a dinosaur museum, you can purchase dinosaur bones freshly made in China. That's a real thing. You can look it up. There's actually a business that makes dinosaur bones. Yeah. Next story. Netflix is no longer pursuing the purchase of Warner Brothers. Look at that. This comes a week after Trump called for Netflix to remove Susan Rice from their board. Yeah. Do you guys know the significance of this? Now Paramount is going to be the one buying. So here's what happened. Warner Brothers is a public company, okay? Netflix made an offer, and then Paramount made a better offer. Okay, it is the fiduciary duty of the executives of Warner Brothers and the board of Warner Brothers to make the best possible decision for the shareholder. Okay, you cannot turn down more money for political reasons. Okay, so in order for Netflix to get it, they would have had to offer more money. But unfortunately, because Netflix is so gay, they have so much LGBT content that no one wants to subscribe to their garbage anymore. In fact, a very large chunk of their subscribers is people who have their cell phone service with T-Mobile, because T-Mobile gives you free Netflix. And I've thrown the air quote because it's not free. They price it into your plan. Okay. So most people have free Netflix by default if you have a T-Mobile account, which is why you got to switch. Go to Patriot Mobile. You can use T-Mobile satellites at Patriot Mobile. Okay, and then none of that money will go to Netflix. Anyways, so now Paramount's going to be buying it, and by the way, Paramount very Trump friendly. Okay, do you know who Warner Brothers owns? CNN. Yeah. So go after this acquisition happens, and I think it will. You will probably see CNN. There probably won't be. I mean, Fox is they're not reliable either, right? They're fake Republicans. We know that. They're neocons. They drive war. They push the jab. They push lockdowns and mandates. But Fox is clearly right wing. They want safety and security and I'm gonna assume that CNN is going to stop justifying illegal immigrant crime, stop justifying black crime, stop justifying lax crime law, soft on crime policies, things like that. I don't think they're going to go full right wing. They would just lose all their viewers. Now they have a lot anyways, but it'll be a slow shift as well. So, yeah. I would say CNN will probably be somewhere along the lines of where Fetterman is. You know what I mean? That reasonable Democrat, like they were in the Kennedy days, the JFK days. Yeah, they're going to be that kind of Democrat. So it's going to be very interesting. But Netflix is officially thrown in the towel. They're out of the race. Next story. Yesterday was a meeting. There was the meeting between USA and Iran in Geneva. They had 2 sessions, one before and one after lunch. It did not go well. And the reason why was because, so what the U.S. is asking for them to do is destroy their 3 main nuclear sites, which is bizarre because I thought we did that already, right? But apparently they've been rebuilding. He wants them to dismantle it. Not only that, but also wants them to turn over all the enriched uranium to the United States, which would make our nuclear energy, cheap for a bit, right? I mean, it wouldn't be cheap. We would sell it to these nuclear power plants at market price, and we use that to pay off our debt. And that is the cost of waging war against us. You're going to lose your uranium, right? However, they turned it down. They said no deal. So there's no deal between us and them. China today has urged their citizens to leave Iran. Yeah. So it's going down, guys. And by the way, some people said it's already been going down. This, according to this account here, they're alleging that there were attacks last night. But again, not a very big account, 45,000 followers. They said it's already happening. Yeah. I don't know if this is real. I have not heard any reports about it. And also, it hasn't been enough time. Because literally Huckabee just wrote today to tell, I don't know, you know what? Because Huckabee, I'll get to that in a bit. Oh, by the way, there were pizza surges last night. Look at that. Pizza. If you guys don't know about the Pentagon pizza report, this page right here, Pentagon has a cafeteria. However, they don't make pizza because it takes 2 hours to make a pizza. So, whenever people want pizza, they just order out. So all the local pizza places, they get a surge of pizza orders whenever the Pentagon is going to be pulling a late nighter. Or JD Vance basically says that, yeah, they're thwarting this page by sometimes they'll just order tons of pizza for no reason. Like this was done at 4:41 p.m., right? So they order the pizza. Let's say people are off of work at 6 or 8 o'clock. They order a bunch of pizza and they say, hey, look, everyone just order a pizza so that we can throw people off so that they don't know when our attacks actually are. So it could be that as well. You don't know. This is pretty early, by the way. You figure a late nighter Pentagon operation would be a pizza order like at 8 p.m., right? Instead, this is at 4:41. So this is pretty early. But yeah, they could just be like, hey, everyone order a pizza. It's on us. We need to throw off the Pentagon pizza report. And then everyone just takes a pizza home to their families. Simple, right? So that happened yesterday. So it is a little bit early in my opinion. And by the way, Huckabee sent out an email to all the U.S. staffers in Israel and told them non-emergency embassy staff they are allowed to leave Israel. Allowed to. Not saying, get out, guys, be careful. So a lot of people attributed this to Iran. Like, oh, it's because they're doing the attack on Iran and there's going to be retaliation. It's not because of Iran. It's actually because of Lebanon. Yeah. Overnight, this happened last night. Hezbollah and Taliban were attacked overnight in Lebanon by Israel. So they're doing their own operation heading north. And I personally don't expect anything happening anytime soon in Iran, even though the deadline is over. You know, like, because remember when the first time the deadline ended, you know, Trump gave him a 90-day deadline, and right like 92 days or something like that, bam, we got to send all our B-2s and dropped those bunker busters and destroyed the nuclear facilities, right? So that happened like days after the deadline, but again, they would be expecting it this time. So we would not put our people at risk. You know, they're expecting us, and then we just send all our guys and they all get taken out. That's not good either, right? Also, the USS Gerald Ford is not there yet. It is expected to be there this weekend though. But again, USS Gerald Ford was the backup to the other one that is already there. So, but yeah, they got hit pretty hard last night. There it is. There's Gene Robinson's the skies over Lebanon are lit up. Israeli Air Force is striking Hezbollah weapon storage sites right now. A calculated move to eliminate as many rockets as possible before the next phase begins. The next phase could be either a ground invasion like they did to Gaza, or preventing Iran's ability to retaliate against Israel, right? Once the U.S. attacks Iran. So, and by the way, the U.S. has withdrawn their troops from military bases in the Middle East, the bases that don't belong to us, like for example in Qatar, right? And the reason why was because Iran threatened to attack U.S. troops in the Middle East. So we're protecting our allies by leaving those bases, and we're instead collecting elsewhere. But there it is. Oh, look at that. That's big. That's big. Oh. Next story. Pakistan and Afghanistan are going at it again. This is a strike on Kabul airport, guys. Oh, look at that. Oh, 2 of them. Those are huge bombs. This is in Afghanistan. This is, remember the Kabul airport where the Biden made that disastrous exit where people were falling off the plane because they're hanging onto the wheels. Yeah, that. This is that airport there. Which sucks. We spent a lot of money building that runway there. It's 12 foot tall, 12 foot deep, that runway. 12 foot deep of concrete. Able to support even the, that gigantic airplane that the Soviet Union made that Ukraine last had. And then it was like the biggest plane that was ever built. It has like 6 engines. It was able to accommodate even a jet that big. But yeah, we're destroying it now. Well, not we, Pakistan is, but on our behalf, right? It's no coincidence that we signed not only a trade deal, but an infrastructure deal with Pakistan, and now they're attacking our enemies for us. There's no coincidence there. But again, is it for a good cause? Yes, because 24 million women and girls lost their right to work, get educated, and walk around with their hair out in public in Afghanistan because thanks to Biden. I mean, it's hard. It's not even Biden. It was the auto pen lady, Neandra, the Indian lady. Yeah, it was her. Anyways, so Pakistan, that's crazy, man. I wonder are they still using Chinese equipment? Because I know they're going to be buying ours soon, so they're going to be like unstoppable soon. Anyways, Pakistani troops are not just doing air to ground attacks, they are also doing ground invasion. Look at this. Pakistani troops removed an Afghani flag and put their own up. Look at that. They're not just doing air to ground attacks like the bombings in Kabul. They're not just doing air to ground attacks like the bombings in Kabul. They're also doing ground invasions. They just removed an Afghani flag from this fort here, and they're going to put up their Pakistani flags, and in return we're going to be helping them build their oil infrastructure, and we're going to be owning half of it. So like Trump says, when you own it, you have an incentive to defend it. If you lease it, it doesn't even matter, Congrats, guys. Next story. Foreign Affairs finally writes that Foreign Affairs, is that a publication? Foreign Affairs finally writes that Ukraine is losing the war. Yeah, no shit. I literally said that like 3 years ago. And you guys are like, oh yeah, we're losing. They're trying to pressure Zelensky to make a deal and completely give up on the whole Donbass region. You know how much of the Donbass region is unconquered by Russia? Like 10%. 10%, guys. And Zelensky's hanging on to that 10% pocket because the longer the war goes on, the more foreign aid he gets. And by the way, they just got a large grant from the IMF. Yeah, the International Monetary Fund, guys, which is pretty much the Western BRICS, if you guys didn't know about that. The IMF basically takes in money from all the Western countries and is supposed to be using it to help developing nations develop, right? Whether they are doing that or if it's just for regime change, it's one thing or another. I don't know. But they just gave Ukraine a shit ton of money, which has already been dispersed, by the way. So, yeah. Just a tiny little pocket of land. And he's like, no, we fight for that land. They should not occupy. Next story. The Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent is cutting off the Swiss bank from access to the U.S. financial system. This was very surprising to me because I thought the Swiss bank was the central bank of central banks. And apparently we've cut them off. And apparently the reason why was because they are, let's see, U.S. Treasury Department proposed a rule Thursday to cut a small bank. It's not the Swiss central bank. It's a small Swiss bank. They've been cut off from access to American financial system over its dealings with illicit actors linked to Russia and Iran. So again, everything that we're doing from the sanctions against Iran and Russia to crashing the price of oil, as you can see earlier, we're now the #1 producers of oil. All of that is to make it so that Russia cannot afford a respectable war because 85% of their energy exports is petroleum. So this is all things that he's doing. Yes, it is putting a little crimp on the economy. People's portfolios are not as thriving as they used to be. But it's either we use tariffs or we use bombs. And, he's a business guy, not a neocon, right? The Treasury charges that M. Baer, that's the name of the bank, M. Baer, B-A-E-R, and his staff have enabled Russian money laundering as well as financing of terrorist activity, including that of the Islamic Revolutionary National Guards Corp. And it's Quds Force, whatever that is, one of their mini armies or whatever. Anyway, so that's interesting to happen there. We're cutting. Even our own Western allies are helping these guys. Next story. There was apparently a proposal to change Japan's policy so that the imperial succession, they will allow women to be eligible. Okay. Japan's first female prime minister blocked that. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Yeah, because she knows how these liberal women can be, right? Easily sell out, very selfish, you know. But I thought that was hilarious because the first female prime minister of Japan had the power to change Japanese history and say, yeah, female royalty can, become the emperor. And she's like, nah. Oh, that's great. She's like, no skanks. Yeah, that's hilarious. Good stuff. Good stuff. Next story. Look at this. Someone created hydroponic barley. Look at this.
This isn't grass. It's a kind of magic feed that makes cows eat like crazy. Farmers call it hydroponic barley fodder. And
by the way, you know how much healthier our beef is going to be with cows eating barley instead of corn? There are actually a lot of natural health benefits for cows for them to eat things like this. But because ever since we started feeding them corn, we've had all sorts of weird diseases coming from cows these days. You know what I mean? Diseases that could have gone away if they just ate a little bit of this once a week. But now they found a way to do it that's so cheap, we don't need corn anymore. It's going to be maybe a little bit, here's your grass-fed beef right here. Maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more expensive than corn. But our food supply is going to get better, huh? Barley cotton candy, says Pious Grade. Is that what they're calling this? That's cool stuff. I've had wheatgrass juice. I used to eat wheatgrass powder every day until it got expensive. Yeah, it used to be $6 a jar. Now it's like $16 a jar. Ever since Biden fucked things up. Anyways, let me check these notifications real quick. What are these? What's going on here? President Trump lands in Marine One. What is this? Okay, well, thank you for not working Twitter. You're so reliable. If you spent all that time you spent banning people, if you spent that developing your platform, maybe you wouldn't have that problem. Yeah. Let's see. What is this? Okay, anyways. Brief press gaggle with Trump says we could very well end up having a friendly takeover of Cuba. He says.
The Cuban government is talking with us, and they're in a big deal of trouble, as you know. They have no money, they have no anything right now, but they're talking with us. and maybe we'll have a friendly takeover of Cuba. We could very well end up having a friendly takeover of Cuba.
I like that idea. I like that idea. Cuba, having Cuba as a state would be much better than Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico is nothing but a drain on our society, if you guys didn't know that. Yeah, they get so much subsidies that it's freaking ridiculous. Let's see. He says Howard Lutnick's an innocent guy. I don't know anymore, man. What is it? Mamdani said. Mamdani says, yesterday I did something I am truly reluctant to do. I left New York City. I traveled to DC to meet with President Trump in the Oval Office. You got $21 billion for housing, which we know you're going to launder most of that money anyways. So, I don't know why he's letting them have that money. Jack Reed on the international nuclear weapons. We're in a brave new world. This guy's okay. You know, by the way, you know, was it? Well, I forgot where it was. So some EU committee. You know how they're gonna fix all the crime from all, you know, all the stabbings and all the Islamists driving their trucks through Christmas parades. You know how they're gonna stop that? They create a policy denouncing crime. They basically issued a strongly worded letter to all the radical Islamists in Europe. And they didn't even send them the letter. They just like uploaded it and said, hey guys, maybe read it if you guys want. Yeah. Oh, look at this. One person is gone and dozens injured as a tram derails in Milan, Italy. Oh, that is bad. That is bad. Wow. That sucks. Imagine going to work on that thing and then it's just like gone. Oh, geez. Milan. I hope none of our athletes were still there, you know. Good thing that didn't happen last week, right? Let's see. Oh, yeah, Bill Clinton's being grilled right now. It's not televised, though. By the way, they're expected to release the video, but it's not optimistic. Anyways, Trump says here, I don't know anything about the Epstein files. You know, I've been fully exonerated. That's very true. It's very true. Anyways, guys, remember I got 2 other channels, Frank's show clips, links in the description. This is where we upload short clips of this show here. We also got Frank's Funny Shorts. The link to that is also in the description, where I upload non-political shorts there. And so I hope you guys will give those 2 things a follow. Go to my website, thenpcshow.com. You'll find Rumble right there. We're gonna do a watch party. We've got one by Roman, Trump's hidden plan behind tariffs and why he cannot let the Supreme Court stop it. And then we've got an episode of Joshua about foreign scam centers targeted by the U.S. State Department. And then if we have time, we will do Europe's censorship war that could reshape the world. Oh, that looks good. Anyways, see you guys over there. Goodbye, YouTube. Have a great day, guys. Consider becoming a member. Hit the like button, share this out. Consider being a member, like Beyond Ether, like Random Yank there. Look at that. That is great. It's $3 a month. That's like 10 cents a show. You know, it keeps the channel alive. Or you can do that on this side. If you do it on Rumble, by the way, you get access to our Rumble Premium Hangouts. We generally talk about food and pets. I have been making pizza from scratch, and it is actually coming out real good. So, yeah, you guys can see some of that. I'm going to be making a Big Mac pizza next. So we'll be talking about that probably on Sunday. Yeah, when the new month happens. So, goodbye, you tizzles, my nizzles. Have a great day. See you tomorrow. Goodbye. And we're done.